Welcome or welcome back to Strategically Styled. My name is Lisa. I'm a woman over 50 and this channel is dedicated to helping you achieve your style goals. And to that end, today I'm going to be sharing with you ways that you can shop more strategically and in particular making sure your spending is in alignment with your values and your goals. So stay tuned. But first, I will ask, as I do, if at any point, at any time you find yourself liking this video, I appreciate it if you click the thumbs up and like the video. Consider clicking the subscribe button and joining this community. Become a strategist yourself and click the notification button so you can be notified when new content is uploaded. I will show you my OOTD such as it is, which is this JCPenney denim shirt, which I got last summer, these Goodwill thrifted pants, and these Amazon slippers. These earrings I got from a store that has consequently gone out of business probably about 3 years ago, and that is the look. So let's get into it. In order to shop strategically, you need to have a strategy. And for us, the strategy is going to be to make a list of our priorities as consumers and then allow that to govern our shopping practices. So I have a list of words. I'm going to run them off in alphabetical order. You may have other words that need to be on your list, or maybe none of these words are on your list, but just for purposes of illustration, this is what we're going to do. What I'm going to ask you to do, get interactive here, get yourself a little pencil and some paper, or you can just do it mentally in your mind, is to prioritize these words as after I say them and would decide which ones are the most important and least important to you as a consumer. Ready? Number 1, affordability. Number 2, convenience. That you don't have to order online, that it's right there, or maybe it's more convenient for you if it comes online and you physically do not have to go get it. Convenience. Number 3, a diverse workforce. It matters to you as a consumer who is working at this company, that the employees and the management team reflect different demographics of people. That is a priority for you. Number 3, it is environmentally responsible in the production and or distribution of these products. Number 4, that people are treated ethically who work there, and not just the people in store or showing up at the office, but everybody involved in the supply chain. And then number 4, that it is healthy or non-toxic. So you have to determine which one of those are your biggest priorities. Keeping it real, unless you have an unlimited budget, it's a real possibility that you are not going to be able to check off every single one of those boxes when you shop every single time. So you have to make a determination which are your top 3 priorities. So strategic shopping strategy number 1 is just to buy better. What I'm committing to do in 2025 is that I'm making a list of the things that I buy on a regular basis. And every single month, I'm going to choose just probably about 2 to 3 of those things, and I'm going to try to find a way to buy those things better. Better may be I can find a healthier version, I can find a more affordable version, I can find a more environmentally responsible version of those items on the list. So I live in a smallish town, meaning I have limited in-store shopping opportunities. I have a limited amount of time and I have a limited budget. I have some limitations. So I really cannot take every single thing that I ever purchase and decide, all right, starting effective immediately, I'm going to overhaul everything about the way I shop. It would be totally overwhelming, but I can certainly say every single month, I'm going to pick 2 things and do it better. And it's not about a race, but it is a journey to just becoming a better, more conscious consumer. Number 2, we need to strategically save. And what that usually means, in addition to buying better, we're also going to have to buy less because there's just a lot of economic uncertainty about the times that we are living in here. Here in the United States, most economic professionals are convinced that we are heading towards some kind of economic recession. And on a daily basis, thousands of people are being fired, usually with little to no advance notice. And even as I say that, you might be thinking, well, thank God I don't work for the government. But even if you don't work directly for the government, if you work in some government adjacent industry, for example, you work in a private company, but your primary contracts and businesses used to be coming from the government, chances are that may no longer be the case. And then how does that impact that private business? Along with the audit of things that we can buy better, are there things that we cannot buy at all? Are there some things that we can say, you know what, I'm going to get rid of that? And let me just say this as a word of encouragement. If there is somebody who is really struggling financially, and particularly if you're in a lot of debt and you feel, I'm just in so deep, I'll never get out. Listen to me. The things that are impossible with man, they are possible with God. They are possible. So you need to not give up on yourself. Even if the best you can do is, I can't save but $5 per paycheck, then save that $5. But don't get any deeper. Don't just give up in despair and think, oh, what difference does it make? I'll never get out of debt. Don't give up on yourself. And during times of financial and economic uncertainty, it's probably a bad idea to needlessly get yourself indebted, particularly for things that you don't absolutely need. So anything that you have to pay in 4 installments, or that's using credit, or going to have you on the hook to somebody for like months to come, really be mindful of it. Is it worth it? Is it worthy of you? Is it worthy of potentially jeopardizing your financial future? That is the sort of thing you need to consider. Number 3, we need to strategically make sure we are promoting the businesses that we want to see thrive, and we are divesting from businesses that are not in alignment with our value system. There's an old saying that says, when you see a spark, fan the flame. So I mentioned being in a smaller area where you don't always have a lot of in-store options for the things that you might want to buy. Over the years, for example, I have struggled to buy sunscreen. And I think there was a widespread belief that, well, black people don't need sunscreen because black don't crack. And baby, maybe it don't crack, but it'll spot, it'll wrinkle, it'll fold, it'll do all the other things. So yes, years ago, I made a decision, probably like in my 30s, that I want to wear sunscreen. And I had the hardest time finding sunscreen because most of the sunscreens were the zinc oxide base, and when you put them on, it leave like that white, ashy, grayish cast to your skin. And even though the labels on the containers would say things like blend seamlessly into your skin, what they mean is it blends seamlessly into somebody's skin, but not mine. So in any case, I had a challenge finding affordable sunscreen. So I came across this product a while back. It's called Black Girl Sunscreen, and it's pretty affordable. It's like less than $20. But I have yet to be able to physically go into a store, into the sunscreen aisle, and like, oh, look, here's the sunscreen that I want for my skin. So I order it online. But sometimes it just irritates me to no end that I have to special mail order all of my black people stuff. When I go into a store and I find that they are carrying the products that I want to see and that I want to use, I will definitely go into those stores and buy them in those stores because I see that spark, I want to fan that flame, and I want to communicate to that store that yes, you need to keep selling this product and you need to make sure you always have room on your shelf for this product. I don't know if everybody realizes this, but the most powerful person at any company or corporation, it is not the CEO, it's not the chairman of the board, it's not the shareholders, even, you don't even have to have stock in the company, but it is you, the consumer, because every company has a policy that supersedes all other policies, and it is this: make a profit. And profit is only achieved when people buy the product or services being offered. And you as the consumer and I as the consumer dictate to the company how much profit they're actually going to make when we decide we're going to buy this or we're not going to buy that, and it's just going to sit on the shelves and you're just going to have to figure it out. So if I see products in stores, particularly in these big box chains, I'm going to buy them from those stores because I want to normalize having these kind of products available for the people who need them. And another thing that I got recently, I wanted this satin line cap, and it's really good for your hair because it doesn't have any friction and things. So the outside is a nice soft knit, but the inside it is lined with satin, and so it just keeps your hair together. So if it's cold and you still simultaneously want to wear a hat, you can do it without mussing up your hair. I did a little short about that, which is somewhere on my channel. It's by a brand called Grace Elaye. I may not be saying that right. So of course I could go to Grace, we'll just call her Grace. I could go to Grace's website and just buy it from the website, but I saw that they had it at JCPenney. So of course I said, well, I'm going to buy it at JCPenney because I want to communicate to JCPenney that yes, there is a demographic of people out there who want this, and I want to make sure that they have it and that it gets seen by as many people as possible, and see companies like Grace Elaye's, like I want to see them win. Number 4, that leads me into what I like to call the strategic boycott. Let me preface this by saying, again, if there are brands who are doing something so outrageous, so untenable that you just cannot in good conscience give them 1 cent of one coin, yes, you may need to divest from that brand altogether and say, total boycott, not even going to darken the door of this establishment. However, if there is a brand that I want to see win, that I want to grow, that I want to see prosper, and this brand is being sold or distributed by a larger entity who may be doing something questionable, what I would do strategically is I would go to that place. I would purchase the item from the brand that I want to actively support, but nothing else. I'm not going to get any gum. I'm not going to get anything else. I'm just going to get that thing for the reasons aforementioned. I want to communicate to the brand that this is what you're doing right. This is what I want to see more of, but some of this other stuff I'm not going to support. And I know how it is. Like there may be some stores where you're saying, well, I don't want to buy anything from there, but they do carry XYZ product, but you know you're weak. And you know once you go through those double doors that you're not going to leave without a shopping cart full of stuff, then maybe you can't do that, or you have to find your strong friend and get your strong friend to go and get that one item and then get up out of there and do the rest of your core shopping elsewhere. Now, again, you have to follow your own convictions, and you might say, I'm not doing that. But when I think about boycotting strategically, it just makes me think of this passage in the Bible where God is speaking to Cain, you know, the guy who killed his brother. I know. And he says, if you do well, will you not be rewarded? And I think about that. If there is something they're doing right, I want to affirm that thing, but nothing else. But again, this is a personal decision, and you must do you. Here at Strategically Styled, we're about protecting our peace, and we don't want to get into a whole lot of negativity and a long political diatribe on the merits of DEIA policies. But what I would say is that as a business, it's just smart to have some level of inclusiveness, because by doing that, you can expand your demographic, and you can also get a perspective that your company might otherwise be lacking when you bring other people into the room as you are making decisions about how to interact with your customer base. My brother sent me a link to a documentary about voting, and it was very upsetting watching the documentary. And to be honest, I have not gotten all the way to the end because it was just so upsetting. But it was about how people in our country here in the States have been very successful in challenging the voting rights, specifically of Black people, Black voters here in the United States. I will link it below, and if you are interested and you want to learn more about it, you can check it out. So it's kind of a wicked irony that you have some people who are so violently opposed to DEIA policies and saying that they're racist or sexist or something else, but yet some of those very same people are also advocates of these voter suppression laws that specifically target people on the basis of their skin color. But I don't say that because I want you to be anxious, or I want you to be worried, or I want you to, I don't know, go out in the streets and form an angry mob with torches and pitchforks. But remember what I said about you being the most powerful person for any company or corporation. But there is another way that we can be powerful, and I'm going to share that with you. And I am reading to you from the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 7 and verse 14. And this is a verse, and it says, "If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land." In the old Baptist church, we had a deacon, and he would always say, "Those of you who know the words of prayer, pray for me." And what I'm saying to you, those of you who know the words of prayer, that you would be in prayer. There is power in it, and that you would be in prayer for all of these people whose jobs are being lost, that you would pray for our lawmakers, and that you would just pray for our country as a whole. So I hope you have gotten some ideas of how to be a little more strategic with your shopping. Thank you so much for watching, and until we meet again, I hope your day is blessed and stylish.